Thank you very much, Professor Abunimeh. At the outset, I would like to really commend the leadership of Secretary General Faisal bin Abdulrahman bin Muammar, and also congratulate him and his staff for the tireless effort they are deploying, and which, of course, is bearing fruits. I can say that I'm extremely impressed with the numerous achievements of KAICIID in such a short lifespan. Having said so, I would like also to repeat what I have been saying early this morning to the Spanish Minister of Foreign Affairs, how important it is to continue to support strongly the efforts of KAICIID. And in this regard, I would like also to invite the Austrian government to really strengthen their contribution, their support to the center. I do believe that it is really a privilege for Austria to host such an important institution, and I do believe that the journey we are embarking upon, which is a journey for peace, is extremely important, and I do recognize that Vienna, which is the host of so many institutions, will be part of history the day we will revisit the efforts which have been made thanks to KAICIID in our search for peace. The issue of social cohesion, diversity, and coexistence is an issue which is very close to my heart, but also to my mandate as Special Advisor on the Prevention of Genocide. We just heard our colleague from the Yazidi community, and you certainly remember the statement I issued in relation to the atrocity crimes which have been committed against that community, but also against other minorities in Iraq, the Christian minority, the Turkmen, and others. We are today increasingly seeing the lines of conflict drawn up along issues of identity, particularly religious identity. Religion is rarely the cause of conflict, but it is manipulated by those with something to gain from conflict and violence by creating divisions between communities, pitting one population against another with often terrible consequences. And once these lines are drawn up, it is very difficult to undraw them to go back to a situation of peaceful coexistence. We have seen a worldwide increase in tensions and associated violence between populations of different religions, sects, or faith in recent years, including in Africa, Asia, and Middle East. In many cases, we have seen early signs of this violence, but have not acted in time to stop it. And by we, I mean we as individuals, as representatives of different communities, and as leaders. Often, incitement to violence against particular groups or communities based on their religion, their religious identity, has preceded the perpetration of serious human rights violations and abuses. Indeed, incitement to violence on the basis of religious hatred is one of the key indicators of a risk atrocity crimes, by which I'm referring to genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and I have often spoken out on several times against incitement, and most recently in relation to the situation in Iraq, Mali, Myanmar, and South Sudan. Myanmar, as you may know, we were all of the view that the Buddhists are non-violent, but we have seen monks calling for killings of others because of their religion, because they are Muslim, and I'm here referring to the Rohingya population. And I was extremely pleased when Secretary General Ban Ki-moon last week in Myanmar called on the authorities to bring to an end the persecution of the Rohingya population. But to better tackle the issue of incitement, last year in February, my office organized an expert seminar in Geneva, together with the High Commissioner for Human Rights and the United Nations Special Rapporteur on freedom of religion and belief, on freedom of opinion expression, and on contemporary forms of racism. The result of the seminar was a paper that set out policy options for action to prevent incitement to atrocity crimes, with recommendations for action by a range of actors, including states, civil society, the media, and the international community. This paper and the recommendations that it provides stem directly from the 2012 Rabat Plan of Action on the prohibition of advocacy of national, racial, or religious hatred that constitute incitement to discrimination, hostility, or violence. It calls in particular for all those in position of influence, from state officials to religious and other community leaders and the media, to counter hate speech that could constitute incitement with positive messages, calls for respect for the other and non-violence. One of the main conclusions reached during the expert seminar we held in 2012 was that religious leaders, in view of the influence they have over followers of their faith and the role they play in shaping moral conduct, can play a primary role in both a negative or a positive way. They can both incite their followers to violence, or they can prevent or curb such incitement. Based on this conclusion, the policy paper recommends that member states and the international community, including the United Nations system, engage more actively with religious leaders on activities related to atrocity crimes prevention. Given the importance of this issue, I have decided to try to organize a global forum with influential religious leaders from across different religions, faith, and tendencies to explore the specific contribution they could make to preventing atrocity crimes. And I would like this forum to take place in the first quarter of next year, 2015, and I believe it is important to get this group of influential people around the same table so that we can come up with some real and practical suggestions as to how we can work together to stop further violence between communities of different faiths and religions. We have to work together to counter that threat and to underline the benefits of diversity and acceptance. In doing so, in working together with these objectives, we will save lives. But let me finish by saying that Huntington did say that we were facing a clash of civilization. But I do say what is more worrying is the clashes of ignorances. Dr. Hakim did say just now that we have to know each other, we have to understand each other, and therefore we have to make every effort to prevent the clashes of ignorance. A famous philosopher and lawyer, Charles II, who lived in the 17th century and have, say, an important element which I would like to share with you and which shows that times have not changed as much as we may think. He said, and I quote, "Religious wars are not caused by the fact that there is more than one religion, but by the spirit of intolerance, the spread of which can only be regarded as the total eclipse of human reason. Let us therefore put our reasonable heads together today." And it is with this that I would like, once again, to thank all of you and to say that those psychopaths of Daesh who are committing these serious atrocities we are witnessing have nothing to do with Islam. We were told, and we all know, Islam means peace. And with this, let's try to join all together to make sure that we will help to save those people who are today in the wrong direction. Last night I was viewing Abdullah X on YouTube, and these are efforts we have to encourage. We have to develop more positive messages, because at the end of the day, it is not, as my colleague, the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Prince Zayed, said yesterday before the Security Council. That's not only the military solution which will bring an end to this hatred. What will bring definitely an end to this situation we are facing will be to go back to the roots, to understand that all religions call for peace, all religions call for love, and it is therefore critical that we make every effort to even discuss with those people, be they Boko Haram people, be those Al-Qaeda people. We have to get back to the roots and embrace humanity, and I thank you.